Hey guys, this is Scott. This is part 2 of my RCA 17 PD9062U, and with that U stands for being a UHF model. And I say it's part 2 because I originally did a video on YouTube. Called it part 1, and YouTube says it's been 2 years ago. Well, it shouldn't seem like that, but may very well be. I took an extended absence from doing YouTube videos, but I'm back now. So anyway, time to start on restoring this set. I've acquired the SAMs. Originally acquired this set from I'm a Junk Collector, Don. Hello, Homer. How are you? Come down to see what I'm doing? Anyway, I got this from Don, who I believe acquired it from a antique store in Ohio. And he was kind enough to sell me this set at a great price. So just to kind of get you back up to speed, what's up with this is what you can see here. I have no back, and you can also see that it's tilted at an angle. And the reason for that is one of the feet is broke. But other than that, cosmetically, it's in pretty decent shape, and that's really about the only thing that's wrong with it. We may end up painting this black part, but I haven't even really tried buffing that out or cleaning it up, so that'll be on for down the road. It does have a good picture tube. You can go back to part 1 on my channel and take a look, but just to quickly get you up to speed, got a full raster, we've got sound, but I can't get horizontal or vertical lock, which is usually attributed to this sweep board in these sets. So yeah, I mean, it's a total tear down situation here, and just have to go through everything to see what all needs to be done. I'm sure a lot of capacitors, resistors, things of that nature will need to be changed. And I've been doing some studying on the schematic and whatnot. And then also, I just wanted to show you the disassembly instructions. There's 13 steps to getting this chassis out. So I'm not going to record all that. There's screws all around this thing. It is a transformer set that connects there. There's just various things to disconnect, and screws on the side and the bottom, and so I guess, I'm getting ready to tear into this, and I don't think I'm going to video that just because it's really not that much fun. At least it's not, I don't think it is, unless I find something interesting about it. I'll share it with you, but when I come back, we'll have this chassis out and we'll take a closer look. Okay? Okay, so I did want to show you, this is kind of interesting, the safety glass component of this removes. Alright, show you that in a sec. And then the whole picture tube and yoke come out. So you're just left with the chassis inside there. Here's the safety glass, and this is real safety glass. Okay, it's not plastic that sets into the gold trim. And then there's another mask around the picture tube here, which unbolts, and then as you can see, the entire yoke and picture tube and the yoke plug, just detaches there. Right there is where the high voltage lead goes in, and so that all just comes out. So what's left inside the cabinet here is really just basically the chassis. So thought that was kind of slick. That's a little bit different than the other RCAs that I've worked on. So got to go ahead and get this out, and then we'll be able to take a real close look at it. Okay, I've got the chassis out now of the cabinet, and I have to say that was a lot of steps, but it took no more than probably 10 minutes to disassemble this set. A lot easier to do than I thought it was going to be. So anyway, had the chassis up on the bench, and as you can see, it's really not that big as compared to the cabinet. Okay, but again, the picture tube and the safety glass and all that take up quite a bit of room. But anyway, let's take a little look at this. And this is always the point in television restoration. That's where you go, oh man, look at this. I mean, this thing is grungy and dirty. Just taking a quick peek at it, especially on this side of the chassis that's completely enclosed and never sees the light of day. Or this hasn't in quite a while. I don't really see any evidence of anybody in here working, but you can look at some of these components. You know, there's a resistor right there. You can't even tell. Well, now you can. So, you know, there's so much dust on it. You can't really tell what they are, what their values are. So, you know, obviously the next step is to do a lot of cleaning. And it always amazes me, you know, taking this look at it, and then, you know, I'll probably run the air compressor over this a little bit, and then a lot of lacquer thinner and brushing to clean up. It always amazes me how it transforms into something that looks a lot different. So again, this is the back side of the chassis. Not sure what's up with this tape here. There's a black bomb down there. Don't know if that's some repair work or if that's something that came from the factory. It looks suspect to somebody being in here, but just a quick perusal through, doesn't look like anybody's actually been on this side. Now once I get it cleaned up, I might change that, but other than this right here, it looks pretty much like it would coming out of the factory. This is where the filter cap is. Both of those two spots there are where the electrolytics reside. There's only 3 electrolytics in this set. One advantage of having a transformer, I'm not going to have as many electrolytics in here. This would be the audio out transformer, and this would be audio circuitry. This is the vertical out transformer as well as a choke. And a lot of this circuitry down here is associated with either high voltage or the vertical. Okay, and I'm not getting vertical, and I would suspect a few of these caps are bad, not allowing to get vertical lock. But since we have a full screen and plenty of brightness and seems to have plenty of high voltage, I would also venture to guess that a few of these caps are probably still good, even though they're old wax caps. And then of course your on-off switch and contrast controls. High voltage lead, flyback is up on there on the other side. Damper tube, I believe. I'm not sure what tube that is. Anyway, so the bottom line on this part is clean it up and get rid of all the wax caps, no matter whether they're good or not. you know, they just all need to go, because it's difficult to get into this part of the set. So once you're in here, you might as well take it all out. And also check all the resistors and make those changes. I think this is a 1000-volt cap. I remember on the last set that I did, I think that's a 1000-volt cap, a 0.39. And make sure I got one of those. Okay, so swinging on around is the tuner side. You can see it's pretty grungy. A little bit of rust on that right there. But the tuners will need to be cleaned, but it's operating. Signal's getting through. I don't know about UHF. I don't have a UHF broadcaster. I'm not going to be too concerned about UHF right now. And inside here is where a little flyback resides, as well as our rectifier tube. The flyback looks pretty good, and obviously it's working. Okay. Here's the top side of those electrolytics and the transformer. And the damper tube and horizontal output. And then coming around to the final side is now we can get a really good look at this PC board that is infamously not only bolted on, but it's soldered on. And then I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but along this frame, this metal frame, there are several areas where there's at least 3 or 4 right here where it's connected to a point in the PC board. You can see that down in there, where it's connected to the PC board as a ground point. Okay, and I think there's probably one down there. So, and then of course there's a lot of wires coming out from around the bottom of the chassis that filter on through into the PC board. There's a good example of that right here. So typical of the late 50s TV design at that point in time on these tube sets. Typically you'll run into a PC board with a lot of wires, okay, a lot of points of contact, and then a lot of capacitors. And this is the sweep board, okay. So if things aren't right on this board, this TV is not going to work. So again, a lot of these black bombs that are not axial, they're, you know, straight up and down, they're bad in here. And this is the horizontal drive control. I think that's the horizontal drive control, or maybe that is, I'm not sure. Either this is the horizontal hold control, this is horizontal drive. And then also our brightness as well as our vertical hold controls, and then these non-user controls right here with just a screwdriver. One's vertical linearity and the other one I believe is width. This is the speaker wire, and it's just grungy. I think the set was in a smoker's house. Anyway, when I get to this point, obviously I'll be removing this board as best I can, the least invasive that I can. But nonetheless, it's going to have to come out, a lot of caps are going to have to be changed. That guy right there is a replacement. You can see he's been tacked on. That's really about the only thing I saw, though, in looking at this that anybody's done to this set. Of course, all the tubes will have to be pulled. I have to check all those tubes, make sure I don't have any weak tubes. But yeah, always a challenge to pull these. There's a couple more ground contacts right there from the shield. Pretty grungy, but overall the wiring in this looks pretty good. I've seen a lot worse, especially with people getting in here and doing a lot of work. Not sure what this is about. It's some type of spring. It appears to be soldered on there. But where this would go and the purpose of it, I'm not sure. I've never seen anything like that before. Where did that go? Huh. I don't know about that. Hopefully I'll maybe find something in the service info about that. Okay, so the next step for me will be to start cleaning this. I'll blow it off with an air compressor lightly or gingerly, and then it's a matter of a big old can of lacquer thinner and a brush. I'll put down some cardboard and an old towel and rag, and I'll just really go after cleaning it, and then start recapping the bottom here. Once I get the bottom recapped, we'll reinstall the picture tube and fire it up and see what kind of performance we get after that. But I can probably say with about a 90% chance that even doing that work will not make this set perform satisfactory. We're going to have work to do. Okay. So when I get this thing cleaned up, I'll come back and give you a progress update. Okay, so this is going to end part 1. Or actually, this is part 2. And so I'll see you down the road. Thanks for watching. Hope you come back to watch part 3. Check this guy out. Outside the door of my shop, he's like, hey, what are you doing in there? Working on a TV? Hello, Mr. Squirrel. All right, see you later.